And if you're in a state where you don't like what is happening around you, and you're not challenging what's within you, then you've already lost. You know what I mean? It's funny because someone that I'm normally well aligned with, I was having a conversation, and this is how I knew that I needed to check myself this week. I was having a conversation with them, and it's not even that myself and this person are oftentimes aligned. I'm oftentimes more present in my interactions with them so that I am able to be clear about what I convey. And I've never had issues about, I've never had issues between our relationship because I am present and clear in my interaction with them. And I oftentimes receive that back from them. And so we had a moment of like misclarity, if you will. And in the conversation, and I could see because I was present. It was like I was present in the conversation, but I was also responding in a way that felt that I wasn't present. I let my ego kind of like check that person, or like there was a tone of judgment. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. They read a tone of judgment. And it wasn't in a way where it was, because I think judgment in its place can be fine if it is, I am judging the act, but I want you to know that I am not in any way, shape, or form going to, even though you have committed an act, I am judging the act and trying to find out more. I'm able to disassociate you from the act, in other words. And people can feel that. And people can also feel when you are judging in a sense of, I am associating you with a particular act and I'm looking at you with disapproval or questionability or whatever. And so I think in that moment, it felt like my response was judgmental. And even though that is not what I wanted to convey, it is what I felt inside. And that's what the person picked up on. Needless to say, in the moment, I immediately felt like, damn, I caught myself, but it was too late. It was already in the ether. And, that person had already then responded not to my behavior, but to the energy that I was emitting. So they didn't just respond to what I said, because I didn't, say it in a particular way. They responded to the energy behind what I said. And, so I say all that to say that, sometimes I forget, in my relationship with God, and all that I know about religion, having gone to religious-based parochial schools all my life, even through college, and have studied Catholicism and Seventh-day Adventist and the Nazarene and Methodist and, Rastafarianism and, just kind of whatever, the nation. Anyways, there are things that I understand about, I'll say this. We've discussed what your cross is to bear, right? And I think everybody has a cross to bear, so to speak. And the cross, I think, is representative of kind of the life that we live. So on a vertical stance, there is God above us and there is the world beneath us. And once we can align ourselves with God and with with an understanding, standing on the ground of truth that we believe in and God above us. So there's the vertical. And then there's everything coming at you left to right. You know, you live in this world and there's situations and there's relationships and there's this. And that is the horizontal juxtaposition of life, which gives you the cross. And the point of you kind of dying on your cross, so to speak, is that if you can, in fact, become vertically aligned, you then will be mentally dexterous, emotionally. I don't want to say mentally because, listen, for some of us, the most deeply impacted spiritual relationship is oftentimes not enough to, kind of get us mentally aligned. Some of us need to go seek professional help. Some of us need actual medicine for it, But whatever you need to do, your cross to bear is, getting aligned with what is above you and what is beneath you. And then being able to stand firm in that so that when life is coming at you left to right, thus your horizontal giving you your cross, you're able to, kind of stand in it. And for some of us, we die on our cross. We have things that happen to us in the horizontal that we sometimes aren't able to deal with, but that oftentimes gives us the rebirth opportunity. So you can carry it or you can die on it, but you will all get there. And hopefully, and I don't think that that's a religious thing. I just think that it's a thing. And when you can, and I think that that's like kind of the beauty of life is that, a lot of times some people see that cross as a burden. I see it as a gift. And if I could just stay present and, kind of bear my cross, I can, in fact, life can be like a game because as long as I stay attuned and aligned vertically, and I stay present and conscious in the moment. And I learn how to use that power to then kind of put into the ether mentally what I want and start living it and visualizing it. I then start to see that stuff attracted back to me, reflected back to me in the world. And it's so, many people refer to it as the secret, but it is no big secret. The secret is to just live an aligned life. And then also staying present in that process. And it's difficult. And it shows up in the most mundane ways. It shows up in difficulty at your job and difficulty in your familial relationships and difficulty with dealing with your own ego and kind of how do you kill your ego so that you can actually live. That's how it shows up in the most mundane of ways. We all think that it's going to be this big bang theory that we kind of walk on, but every day is an opportunity for us to show up. And if we can show up long enough to then get present, to then start to really in our heads think about what you want your lives to look like. And start to embody that and start to carry that spirit, you will then see that world reflected back to you, which sounds very simple, but it's very difficult. Oh, all right. So what happened out here in the world this week? So Kim and Kanye. Kim finally files for divorce from Kanye. No big secret. No one's surprised, right? I don't know what this is going to mean for him. I know right now they're talking about split custody. I think that's the part that always makes me sad is the kids and they have these beautiful, beautiful babies. I'm sure they'll be fine, and I pray that they'll be fine, but it's just, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. I am sad that it is happening at all for them, but true love always prevails. And if it is meant to be for those two to be together, then, maybe it might just be time apart. Who knows? So this week, Megan Thee Stallion had her boyfriend reveal. Yes, she had her boyfriend unveiling. Yes, her Instagram boyfriend unveiling. Pardison Fontaine, rapper, I believe. Now, I don't know a lot about him. What I do know is that they unveiled their relationship this week, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy that it seems that she is finding love on a two-way street. Good for you, girl. Good for you. Now, in not so good for you news, it turns out that Serena Williams this week suffered a really hard defeat at the Australian Open. She lost to Naomi Osaka, who actually went on to win the Women's Australian Open. I honestly think that it has been years since Serena, who has been plagued by a lot of physical injuries, it's been a while since she's played at her top, consistently. And I hate that this is the way that it is seemingly ending for her as far as professional tennis. And listen, I'm no tennisista. But I do see that it has become increasingly difficult for her to play at her top level consistently. So no word as to whether or not she's going to retire, but Naomi Osaka has taken the crown, honey, and good for her. In a weird happening this week, so Meek Mill debuted a song, and I guess part of the lines in the song had something to do with him saying that if he was in the chopper and it went down, it would be his legacy or something to that effect. Honestly, it doesn't even matter. I'm not a rapper. And I think that a lot of these rappers are like poets, they are really able to say clever things and make you think to yourself like, oh my God, they're so good. That's funny. And so this was lazy to me. It just seemed like lazy rapping to me. Like, it also seemed a little, I know a lot of people have heard this song, and it came out anyway, even before hearing it, just hearing that he had a line about Kobe kind of made me go, ooh, too soon. And I don't even know that it's too soon as much as I feel like the way that Kobe died, it's not just Kobe's death. Yes, Kobe was probably the most notarized person who perished in that helicopter crash, but he was not the only one. And yes, we love him as a public figure, but respecting the other victims as not being public figures, I think it was in poor taste. I think that there isn't there isn't enough people around him to tell him that and to have him listen. And B, if that is not the case, then I think that he also carries a lack of judgment that would make me question.